Hello there. If you've seen any of the videos on our channel, you'll know that we've been working in this garden for 25 years, and it's gone through in that time a number of transformations. And one thing about a garden is the conditions are constantly changing. In this case, these arborvitae that we planted are now incredibly tall and are creating a whole lot of shade in this bed. And you can see the effect of that on these hydrangeas. This end is in pretty much complete shade, and then as we move around you can see they get taller because the hydrangeas on this end get sun. So we're looking to change this bed. It's probably going to be, because we're not going to cut down the arborvitae, so it's going to remain in shade. So it now needs to become a shade garden. The other transformation that we're going through as well, as I get older, are these railway tracks. They now run the entire length of the garden, from the fairy garden down there all the way to the other end of the garden and back. Don't want to get rid of the railroad completely because it's a really nice feature. I love landscaping around those buildings, but I am going to take just this part of it out and just end, I think, with two separate circuits, one at that end of the garden where we have a little bridge over a pond, and one at this end of the garden where we have another circuit going around our fairy garden. So we're going to take out this track, take out this box, take out these hydrangeas, and then completely rework this. So in order to really be able to see what that looks like, what I'm going to do is attempt to use AI, artificial intelligence. Hello, if I could just take a moment to introduce myself. My name is Mark. If you're new here, welcome, and please consider checking out those videos I mentioned earlier that cover the 25-year transformation of our garden. If you're returning, thanks for joining. And if you haven't yet done so, please consider subscribing and give us a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. Now back to the video. So, to recap, what we want to do is remove the boxwood, remove the hydrangeas, and remove the railroad track. So I ran this through ChatGPT, asking it to remove the boxwood and the hydrangeas, and right away you can see just how exposed the fence is because the arborvitae have grown so tall. So clearly we need to put some kind of shade-tolerant shrub against the fence to hide the fence. I'm thinking maybe some kind of viburnum. So the first thing I tried was asking ChatGPT to simply extend the grass, and I could tell right away that's not the solution that we're really looking for. So then I asked AI to add some viburnum bushes along the fence. I then asked AI to add some hostas and other shade plants around the serviceberry, and the result was quite funny. Next, I wanted to get an idea of what that would look like from either side of the bed. So I took photographs from either side of the bed and ran that through ChatGPT. So I would say that using AI was an interesting experiment, but I think it had fairly limited results. It did kind of help to envisage the space without some of the plants that are now in there. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. So what we've learned over 25 years and several transformations in our garden is that it's always best to actually wait and put some thought into how you want to transform that part of your garden. So what we're actually going to do when we come to transform this space is what we've always done, and that is wait and research. When we did the area that we now call the fountain garden, it took us more than a year of thinking and planning and trying different options on paper before we settled on the final result. We're going to spend this entire winter researching, looking through some of our books, including, I have some of them here, The New Shade Garden by Ken Druse is an excellent book, not just for the Midwest. And then we have Best Plants for Midwest Gardens by Laura K. Dugan. Of the new Encyclopedia of Hostas, because we know for sure that some hostas are going in there, apart from some other shade plants. And then we have this beautiful book by Tracy D. Sabato-Orst, The Well-Designed Mixed Garden. Absolutely fabulous book. We have others as well. So that will be our winter project, going through these books. And frankly, having lots of disagreements on what we want to do with the space, which is always fun. Also need to decide what we're going to do with all of the plants that we're removing, the boxwood and the hydrangeas. We think we can find a space for a couple of the hydrangeas in a bed that we have next to our driveway that we actually call the reject bed. It's where we put all of our rejects. We can probably squeeze one or two of those hydrangeas into that bed, and maybe even edge it with boxwood. But the majority of those plants, in the spring, I'll dig them up and we'll donate them to the Western Springs Garden Club plant sale, which happens in May. So having seen the space that we're working with, how would you redesign that space? What kind of plants would you include? Let us know in the comments. So thanks for watching, and if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing and give us a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. Thanks for watching. Happy gardening. Bye.